All right, we are on section 7.1, and we are going to do ratios and proportions, which should be reviewed for a lot of you. All right, so a ratio is a comparison of two quantities using division, right? So a basic proportion would be 1 to 2 equals 2 to 4, right? Those are both equal to 1/2. Those are both proportional to each other. If we set the same problem up with algebra, we would say 1 over 2 equals x over 4, and then we would cross multiply. Okay, circle. So 4 times 1 is 4, 2 times x is 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 2. So that's a basic thing we're going to be doing with ratios and proportions. Okay, so the ratio here, all we're going to do is we're going to take, it says student to teacher ratio. So 2650 over 190. What is the approximate student to teacher ratio? And what we're going to do is we're going to take 2650 divided by 190. It's approximately 14 to 1. If you put in your calculator, it's like 13.94. So we just say it's about 14 to 1 ratio. A lot of times you'll see it written like this. Okay, similar problem here. The athlete to student ratio. So we're going to do, now it says find it to the nearest tenth. 520 to 1850. So you do 52, or 520, divided by 1850, and you're going to get 0.28. What I like to do is divide by 520. 1850 divided by 520, and it's 1 for every 3.5 students is an athlete. Or the ratio could be in a decimal, 0.28. Nearest tenth, okay. Then it really should be 0.3. Okay, an extended ratio, it's kind of what I showed at the beginning, used to compare 3 or more quantities. Oh, that's not what I did at the beginning. So here's what I'm going to do here. Here is a basic problem that you are going to have show up on a quiz or a test. So the 3 angles in a triangle, okay, we don't know what they are, so we're going to call them 4x, 5x, and 6x. Okay, and we know that they all add up to 180. So 4x plus 5x plus 6x equals 180. We add those together, we get 15x equals 180. Divide both sides by 15. X will equal 12. And now it says find the measure of each angle. So if I do 4 times 12, I get 48. If I do 5 times 12, I get 60. And if I do 6 times 12, I do 72. So those are my 3 angles. I took 12 and I plugged it in for x. If you check your work and you add up all those angles, you will get 180. So that's one type of problem we do. Another type of problem we do is perimeter. Now, perimeter, here's my triangle. It says 3 to 4 to 6. Well, we're going to call this side 3x, 4x, and 6x. But what do they add up to? They all add up to 104. So the problem is 3x plus 4x plus 6x equals 104. Make sure you're not using 180 here. And we do 3 plus 4 plus 6. we get 13x equals 104. Divide by 13, x will equal, got to get my calculator here, 104 divided by 13 equals 8. So x equals 8, but that's not my final answer. We want to find each side. So I'm going to do 3 times 8, 4 times 8, and 6 times 8, which is 24, 32, and 48. Those are my 3 sides. If you add up those 3 sides, you will get 104. Okay. We're going to skip that part. We're going to talk about the cross products property. Okay. So basically the product of the, we call them extremes and means. We're going to call it like that. Not going to call it that right now. But when we cross multiply, those two things are equal. So we look at this right here, 4 times 15 and 10 times 6. If those proportions are equal, then their cross products will be equal. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to solve each of these. So what I like to do is I like to circle what I'm cross multiplying. Okay? So I have negative 6x equals 44. Okay, how did I get that? I did negative 6 times x, and I did 11 times 4, which is 44. And I believe I'm going to get a decimal here, 44 divided by 6. So x would equal negative 7.33, for example. Okay, my next one, same thing, going to cross multiply. But now I have to do a parentheses. Negative 4 times 2i plus 5. And I can't see because of my writing. There we go. Want to make sure I had my positives and negatives correct. 7 times 2, or sorry, 7 times 6 is 42. I'm going to distribute. So I get a negative 8y plus a negative 20 equals 42. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So I get negative 8y equals 62. Guess we're getting decimals for all these. 62 divided by 8. I get a negative 7.75. All right, my last problem here. I'm going to try to create some room here and use a different color. So we have 7 times z plus 4. So 7 times z plus 4 equals 9 times z minus 1. I'm going to distribute for both of these. 7z plus 28 equals 9z minus 9. Now I'm going to add 9. And I get 7z plus 37 equals 9z. And now I'm going to subtract 7z. And so I get 37 equals 2z. Divide by 2. Z equals 18.5. So we got a lot of decimal answers here, but that just kind of shows you how to do the algebra.